This is our lesson on factoring. When we're factoring, we're going to start out with a problem like this. X squared plus 2x minus 8. This is called a quadratic equation, or quadratic expression in this case. And to factor this, what we're going to do, we're going to start with the blue. We're going to draw a box, a rectangle like this, and we're going to put our x squared term in the bottom left. And we're going to take our c term, the negative 8, and we're going to put that in the top right. Then we're going to go over here and we're going to draw this x. And to get this top value, we're going to multiply x squared times negative 8. And we get negative 8x squared. On the bottom, we're going to use our b term, the positive 2x. So we're going to put the positive 2x down there. So the x squared, the negative 8, the negative 8x squared, and the 2x, they all come from our original equation somehow. Then we're going to move on to the red parts of this problem. And we're going to start over here. When we're solving one of these problems, these two numbers on the side are going to multiply to give you the value on top and add to give you the value on the bottom. So what we need to think about is what two numbers multiply to negative 8x squared and add to 2x. And that's 4x and negative 2x. 4x times negative 2x is negative 8x squared. 4x minus 2x is 2x. Once we have those side numbers, we put them into our rectangle in the empty boxes. And then we go to the outside of our rectangle, to the green portion of this problem. And we start with the first column, 4x and x squared. And we ask ourselves, what do those have in common? Well, they both have x in them. So we're going to take an x out down here. Then we can move over here and we can ask ourselves, x times what would give us x squared? X times x would give us x squared. Then we move up to the top. X times what would give us 4x? X times 4 is 4x. And then we come down to the bottom right here, and we've got x over here. X times what would give us negative 2x? X times negative 2. Once we have the outside of our rectangle filled in, we're basically done. We just need to rewrite what we have on the outside. You can think of this as an area. And if we're finding the area of the whole rectangle, we need to multiply the base times the height. Our height is x and a positive 4. Our base is x and a negative 2. So we take the height, x plus 4, times the base, x minus 2, and that is factored form. That is our answer. Here we have another problem, 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. And we go about it the same way. We set up our rectangle, we put 2x squared in the bottom left, our c term, negative 12, goes in the top right. We multiply those together. 2x squared times negative 12 is negative 24x squared. On the bottom of our x problem, we put negative 5x from the equation. Now we're asking ourselves what multiplies to negative 24x squared and adds to negative 5x. And that would be negative 8x and positive 3x. So we put those into our rectangle. And we start with the first column. Negative 8x and 2x squared both have an x and they're both divisible by 2. So we put a 2x down here. Then we move over here. 2x times x would give us 2x squared. 2x times negative 4 would give us negative 8x. And x times 3 would give us 3x. So our height is x minus 4, and our base is 2x plus 3. Lastly, you may be presented with a problem like this one. 3x cubed minus 18x squared plus 15x. Whenever you're given a factoring problem, the first thing that you want to do is look carefully at everything in the problem and ask yourself if they all have something in common. In this case, they all have an x, and they're all divisible by 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a rectangle around the original problem, and we're going to take out that 3x. On the bottom then, we just ask ourselves what would we need to multiply 3x by to get what's inside. 3x times x squared is 3x cubed. 3x times negative 6x is negative 18x squared, and 3x times 5 would give us 15x. That 3x is going to go down at the beginning of our problem, our final answer. The x squared minus 6x plus 5 still needs to be factored further. So we put the x squared in the bottom left and the 5 in the top right. Multiply those together, we get 5x squared for the top of our problem here. The negative 6x goes on the bottom. And we ask ourselves what multiplies to 5x squared and adds to negative 6x. Well, since they're multiplying to be a positive, they both have to have the same sign. And since they're adding to a negative, they're both going to have to be negative. Negative 5x times negative x is positive 5x squared. Negative 5x minus x is negative 6x. So we put those in our rectangle, and we look at the first column. Negative 5x and x squared both have an x in common. X times x would give us x squared. X times negative 5 would give us negative 5x. And x times negative 1 would give us negative x. So our height is x minus 5. Our base is x minus 1. And we have the 3x out front that we factored out in the beginning of the problem. And that is our lesson on factoring.